Okay, it says it's being live streamed.
It's good to go. You're live.
Okay, you're gonna hang up? Okay, thank you. Okay. So looks like we are now live streaming. Thank you so much for the patience. You can never tell what's happening from the weather or from technology or human equation. But let's just say welcome to our very distinguished guest, Miss Antonique Vinson. She is the owner, operator of Uniquely Fit Training LLC. This is Mayor Cashenna A from the city of Glenarden coming to you with the August Mayoral Community Forum, which is wellness in our community. Miss Vinson is actually a certified personal trainer. And as we've come out of the summer months and hitting the beaches and getting ourselves ready for another wonderful school year, we need to continue to be mindful of that excellent fitness routine that we've started, and that we can take that into our winter months, which are usually our trouble months. Ms. Vinson is actually a nutritionist as well as a weight loss specialist. She is also poised as a master of science and exercise science. She is focused in fitness and wellness. And over the last 10 years, she has experience in the fitness industry. Her philosophy is that health and wellness is truly unique experience for each and every person. And Ms. Vinson, I agree with that. So yes, this should not be treated the exact same. No two people are the same, just like our fingerprints. So it's more than just losing weight. It is a lifelong journey. I would like to say welcome, Ms. Vinson, to this August Mayoral Community Forum, and I am so happy and honored to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me, Mayor Cross. I appreciate it so much.
So talk to me about this life-changing vision. What started you on this journey of nutrition and fitness?
Well, it's been a journey probably all of my life. As many of us, a large majority of Americans, I grew up as an overweight child, into an overweight teenager, into an overweight young adult. And I can honestly say that I have done every weight loss technique, diet, fad diet that is out there. If I was old enough to do Jenny Craig, I would have done that when I was a child also. And when I got into college, I originally wanted to do physical therapy, but funny story, watching A Different World, I remember learning that you had to go through a cadaver class. And I said, oh, I guess I won't be doing physical therapy. So then I switched over to exercise science, where I got my bachelor's degree from Wesley College, which is now Delaware State University at Wesley College campus. And I got my master's degree in exercise science and fitness and wellness from the California University of Pennsylvania. And through that entire journey, I was not applying the things that I was learning in school to my own life. And after I had graduated school and I moved back to the area, I am originally from gorgeous Prince George's by way of College Park. And I moved back home and I started working in corporate wellness for the federal government. And I was struggling with finding my footing. A lot of the members that I was working with were not very appeasing or supportive of my size at that time. I, at my heaviest, was 273 pounds, and I'm about 5'8", 5'8 and a half. So I was on the more obese side. So that motivated me to combine all of the education that I had gotten in the last 6 years and actually use that on myself. And I was able to lose over 80 pounds and maintain that weight loss within the last 6 years. And it has been such a journey because I learned what works for my body and what doesn't work for my body, but also learning that the things that works for me does not work for everyone that I work with. Some women are able to lose weight quickly. Some women are not. Our genetic makeups are completely different and our lifestyles are completely different. So it inspired me to start Uniquely Fit Training and really take on that philosophy. No workout is the same. Why are we all doing it alike?
Oh, I can appreciate that journey. And thank you so much for sharing that. You know, I can tell you I'm approaching the ripe age of decision. And I'm at that point myself where holistic mental state is very important. As a mayoral focus this year, we've been focusing on mental health and wellness in our community. We've taken an optimal structure towards addressing life choices, providing training, education, and support to health and well-being overall. Second, we have looked at holistic community self-worth, right? So we have looked at areas where we can incorporate different dimensions of what should be harmony within not only our individual selves, but harmony within the community. So in that pursuit, I like what you said. There was a self-responsibility. You owned that choice. And that's something about wellness in a community as well. There's a lot of choices that often feel like they aren't in your power or control. And that's where, you know, I feel like as a government, we come in with some cultural, environmental, social, physical, you know, effects, but there is still a self-choice to either come to the programs or accept the help even. So I like what you said, you know, and you talk to a holistic, optimal state of health. And that's where we are with wellness. So what are some of the things, I look at the definition of wellness from like the Global Wellness Institute, and it says that this is the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. So it is choices. And, you know, we always say, you know, choices have consequences, right?
Yes, they do.
But talk to me about how we as a community can start to build a more residual balance of excellence when it comes down to that holistic health.
I think that it would be having that autonomy within ourselves and that honesty to say, how much can I really take? What can I really do? And what place am I in to fully be committed to this wellness journey? And I think that that's one of the biggest problems, or one of the biggest flaws with a lot of people, is the commitment to the wellness journey, setting the boundaries for the wellness journey, and showing up for that wellness journey. And as a government, as a community, one of the biggest things would be to provide that inclusivity that especially African-American women need, because we come in all different shapes and sizes and backgrounds, nutritional backgrounds, so many things. And a lot of people come into fitness and wellness thinking it has to be that one way. I have to lose a piece of myself. I have to stop eating the foods that I love. My mother is Jamaican. I'm not giving up my Jamaican food in order to fit into a specific box of wellness. So I think that what the city can do and what the government can do is to let people know that you can be whole, you can be well, you can have your well-being while still being yourself.
Yes, I think that's a wonderful statement. And no, I wouldn't give up my Jamaican food either. We had a wonderful journey to Jamaica. When my husband and I first were married, we journeyed to Ochos Rios, and we just come back actually from Montego Bay. So we've had a wonderful set of experiences. So I know you can't give up Jamaican food. I wouldn't advise that at all. But I do like what you're saying as far as a community. It's encouraging that individual perspective and bringing out everyone. There are no cookie cutters in community. And that's something that we really have to acknowledge, not only just for ourselves, but you know, as a government, is that we have to build programs that get the right rational transformation workforce cultures moving. And with that is some of the things that I've started doing, which is looking at areas in our community where we can start to put different types of activities or events on the ground that will help to, not only improve the lives of our own employees for the city, but our families as well. And with that, starting wellness programs is something, that I think that we should do. It says here, and I've done a little bit of research, about 85% of the time, employees say that the reason that they're wanting to do wellness to improve their health. One of the things that is a concern is how do we ensure that we get the work done, but at the same time maintain a healthy work-life balance. I can tell you that the Department of Defense has done a great thing with, say, the civilian wellness plan, the civilian fitness program. Different types of programs particularly are put in place to help, employees reduce not only work-related stresses, but to help as well with this comprehensive approach to healthy lifestyles. One of the things that I would ask of you is, how well do you think wellness programs are performing in today's environment? Because again, we started this segment saying, I can make programs, but I can't make them come. So what has been your experience in 10 years, particularly having worked with the federal government?
Oh, definitely. So I have worked in what is known as your big box gyms, which is like your YMCAs, your Gold gyms, Planet Fitnesses. And I've worked on a smaller scale as a group exercise instructor at boutique fitness centers, not boutique fitness centers, but boutique fitness studios, more of the mom and pops, as well as some of your franchise fitness studios. And like I said, my biggest experience was working with the pensions benefit guarantor companies in Washington, D.C., as well as for a small private wellness group. And what I noticed as a health fitness program manager to get them to come, the if you build it, they will come mentality, was to be open to everyone coming in, that everyone has different goals. And one of the things that I've learned is that not everyone's goal is specifically weight loss. Some people's goals is, I just want to have a certain level of longevity. I want to be able to play with my kids when I get off of work. I want to be able to get off work and not fall asleep on the train. I want to have energy. I want to be exuberant. And it was about leaving a space in those fitness programs for each and every type of person, but also bringing in contractors, different group exercise instructors from different backgrounds, from yoga instructors to HIIT instructors to cycle instructors, that were inclusive in the way that they teach. Unfortunately, in the fitness industry for a very long time, a lot of the influencers, as you would say, or the professionals, are very focused on the way that we were taught by the book. But when you're actually in the field and you're working with people and you're getting to know people, it starts to become more of a connection. I've personal trained so many different kinds of people, and they end up becoming like my family. They share very sensitive things with me. They share their innermost thoughts with me, things that they struggle with just helping them to get healthier. So I would say the biggest thing is making a space for every type of person that comes in. Try not to estimate or overestimate that you're going to get one type of person. There are so many different character types of people that come into wellness programs.
And those stereotypes can ultimately hurt production, productivity even. When you look at where your background is and where you come from, both of us are African, American descent or African descent, which means that we're probably more on the fuller side. It doesn't mean that that is a cookie cutter for mental health issues. So what would you say to someone that says, okay, well, this person is obviously well overweight, so they must be suffering from all kinds of things, from cancer to diabetes or etc. When in fact, there could be nothing wrong with that person. So what would you say to those types of stereotypes that are really kind of put I would say a painful stigmata on weight and heavy and negative terms that have characterized our culture.
And that's something that I've actually run across in my experiences with trying to get job opportunities where the door has been closed on me because of my size. Even getting down to my smallest size, I never seemed to fit the ideal fitness and health professional to some companies. And so I've taken on my platform is really speaking about the importance of your inner health. So like you said, you could be someone that is overweight, but you don't pose high blood pressure or high cholesterol or any of those things. I really focus on my clients as well as for other fitness professionals to look deeper than just the outer layer. What are those biometric readings looking like? Are they going to the doctor? Are they experiencing some type of deeper, like you mentioned, mental health issues that are causing them to not get the body moving, or that's really putting a blocker on that motivation so that they can live a life with better well-being and just a stronger quality of life? It's so many more layers than just what the person looks like on the outside. And I've definitely learned that I have a very strong bill of health up against someone that might be a lot smaller than me. And it took many years for me to get to that place to say, I'm still healthy, even though I'm a fuller figured woman. And my passion is to relay that message to so many women that look like me, to so many women that are afraid to go to fitness centers, that are afraid to go to the doctor, that are afraid to live their greatest life because they feel buried and overshadowed by this outer layer that society has kind of placed on us.
And I would say not just women, but men also suffer from this stigmata. I'm looking at 8 dimensions of wellness. And one of the key things that you brought up and kind of hinted towards was the spiritual aspect. We talk about holistic health, and whether you're spiritual or spirit-filled, there is still a recognized effort to come to a certain unified peace within yourself. And we'll just say it that way. From emotional, occupational, intellectual, research, study. Don't just believe the first thing you hear. Environmental matters too, because I can tell you, I breathe differently in Colorado than I do when I'm in Mississippi.
Oh, yes.
Financials matter, okay? Because this industry is something I've recognized can cost a lot of money. When I want to kind of slim or do different things with my body structure based on a certain outfit or dress that I want to get in for a certain event, I find that I have to budget 3 times as much. So the financial is a piece, and we talked a little bit about the social and the physical aspect. So I look at the dimensions of wellness, all of that. In absence of an illness and the stress of life, we're still striving even for this experience that gives us a holistic mind, body, and soul. And I think that you're on to so many great topics. What I really want us to do is to continue to present some type of resources that we can use right here in our community.
Indeed. And I think some great resources, because you hit a really big point, and that's one thing that I run across with a lot of potential clients and those that are just interested in how do I get healthy? How do I get started? And I throw a couple of things, well, here's some ways to eat, and here's some things to consider. And it's so expensive. And we are all living in the state. It does not matter what state you are in. You could be in the state of Maryland, or you could be in the state of Texas. Inflation is real. But what we have to understand is that there is no price on your wellness. There is no price on your well-being. And sometimes we do have to create those boundaries so that we are able to afford those things for us. But some great resources that I've learned over the past couple of years is there are a lot of free wellness classes that are available outdoors, or you can even take advantage of just walking outside is one of the most simple, but the greatest things that you could do for not just your physical well-being, but your mental and your emotional well-being. And then the nutritional aspect of it, which that's like another whole nother session, Mayor Cross, trust and believe. but the nutritional aspect is looking for the foods that are in season that you can purchase versus purchasing foods that are out of season, not feeling shamed or bullied to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. You can buy frozen fruits and vegetables as well, but also not jumping onto every nutritional bandwagon that there is out there. It's okay to try different things, see what works for you. Someone might say that keto dieting works for them. Someone might say, like myself, I'm a practicing vegan, that works better for me. Someone might say, well, a pescatarian diet works better. You just have to find your places where it works. And then there's a lot of fitness centers that are in the area that offer discounted rates depending upon what county you're in. I know that in Prince George's County, with a lot of the community centers, there are fitness centers within those community centers. So I always encourage everyone, please make sure that you go on Prince George's County government website, find yourself a fitness center. You get great discounts as a county resident. So many things, so many things.
You know, Ms. Vinson, one of the things I've committed to, actually with the start of 2022, I did commit to this, is exercising 3 times a week.
Yes.
So in 7 days, I figure that I can give myself 3 hours in that 7 days. And it has really benefited me. And to the tune of about 30 pounds in the first 5 months.
All right, Mayor.
Okay. So I know that, you know, it is a selfless choice that you have to make for yourself. Wellness in our communities. I have a resident and she's 90 plus and she works out. I mean, she's wonderfully fit. She's so super energetic. And, you know, her secret has been to live a life that's mostly focused on her mental health and keeping it healthy. And not only that, but exercise. And that exercise is something, like I said, education. There's no number of time you can put on it. It's always available to you. And you mentioned walking. The most easiest thing you can do for yourself is to walk. And the beautiful thing about the summer months, outside from the heat, is walking is, you know, an opportunity that you can take at any time of the day. I know a lot of our community members here tend to walk closer to sundusk, you know, right there at the end or right at the beginning of the day because of the, you know, the heat that's in our area right now, particularly with the trees, we get a lot of humidity. But taking time also to relax and reflect. Never negate the importance of self-reflection, to renew yourself. Sometimes, you know, and I think it's biblically written, you can heal yourself just from taking that moment to take inventory of what you're feeling, you know, and then also maturing destructive relationships. We've been talking about mental health a lot, and you know, unfortunately, sometimes destructive relationships happen in our lives, and it can't always be a relationship that's, you know, personal. Sometimes it's work relationships.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sometimes it's relationships driving in a car and you're angry. So, you know, maybe you leave a little bit earlier so you don't have that destructive relationship with the traffic on 495. But, you know, there's all different types of things that we can do to address our mental health as well as our wellness, and being prepared for the possibilities of, you know, disaster is something else. In our community, we have city council that's taken, you know, the next leap to actually look at a financial wellness in our community, and bringing in, you know, advisors to help our community members who may be needing that extra kind of, you know, inventory check of where they are, and different type of ideas that you can look at, different possibilities. Not saying what you're doing is wrong, just giving opportunities to grow a more healthier, better, holistic self. You talk to unprocessed versus processed food, natural foods. We've tried very hard to grow a garden in our backyard. Well, We have wonderful deers that visit us every summer.
Oh, the
And every
groundhogs,
first
they
sprout,
get my parents all the time.
thank you. We have a beaver. Mr. Beaver comes back from the Chesapeake Bay and visits our yard. I think he's got a den back there now.
Oh,
But
no.
you're absolutely right. And I found that Costco has some wonderful selection of mixed berries or the tropical mix blend. And it's roughly around $7 to $9. And I tend to use that for morning shakes. And I'll tell you something else they have is a lemon ginger tea. And they also have a lemon ginger mango tea.
Oh.
And they have an apple honey tea.
Oh, good.
So these are all like gelled, canned, but they have, you know, actual fruits in them. And you can utilize I utilize a tablespoon of this lemon, ginger, and mango in my frozen fruit mixed smoothie with my protein, whole wheat protein, or I use pea wheat protein. And then I also have a dietary fiber that I put in.
Very good.
And that's something that we neglect, I think, in our everyday diet, because we grew up eating prunes, but nobody really liked the taste of them.
Not at all.
But I think if we put that in, those things kind of help our inner being work for us. And you start to see healthier skin, drinking the 8 glasses of water a day. Never can put a price on water. 8 good glasses of water cleanses the body and also puts the glow on your face. I don't have makeup on now. You see me kind of shining. I don't have naturally orange skin. I have rouge and I do my eyes. The rest is God's nature because I've taken this holistic approach to taking care of myself. And as I approach my later years in life, you know, I do want to be around to see my grandkids. So I've taken this approach as early on as possible to build a positive experience for the future. So when you talk about learning, what types of accesses to learning materials can we utilize? Like, how would you advise your clients in that respect?
Yes, well, the internet first is a good resource, but we have to be careful. We have to make sure to fact check a lot of those resources. A lot of people that do write a lot of articles when it's pertaining to fitness and nutrition, it's all based off of personal experience, and it's not based very science and evidence based. So I always suggest that if you're looking to be educated about fitness, nutrition, wellness in that space, please make sure that you seek out a certified fitness professional, or even seek your primary care physician. They can help you with finding some sources as to who to look towards, what type of publications are going to be the best things to look at. I know that a lot of people get stuck in the WebMDs and the health lines and things like that, but going into your NIH.gov, they have a lot of great resources so that you can get some good evidence, science-backed information. But if you're on a level, especially a lot of my clients and a lot of my friends and family, it turns into a quick text message. Hey, Antonique, so I saw this on the internet. What do you think? So it's a lot of me putting on my scientist hat and having to break down and debunk a lot of myths. But I strongly suggest finding a professional that you can reach out to that will give you the real information on things.
Absolutely. When you're engaging with communities and trying to foster this positive, you know, interrelationship between our planetary health as well as our human actions, do you get into the environmental piece at all in your communication? Because that's a really big part, right? We have to take care of our environment. I will say that we have done a lot within the county of Prince George's to, you know, do not only a spring, but also a fall cleanup.
Yes.
Being a part of the community includes, healthy inside and out, but beyond just the physical being, the environment. And that's why I put that in that 8 sections of wellness that I like to look at for a community, because you know how it is, even in your personal space, if it's cluttered, your mental health wellness
It's going to
goes
be
down.
cluttered. Indeed. And that is something that I do work with my clients when it comes to that. I myself, I am a person cluttered. If I'm cluttered, that means in my brain, I'm very cluttered. So I do work on that mental health side of your environment. What are you doing every day to prepare yourself for that wellness journey? Are you doing something like journaling? Are you taking time to meditate? Are you doing a moment of just gratitude to get yourself into the space of, who do I need to show up as in order to be successful on my wellness journey today? Not my wellness journey tomorrow, not my wellness journey yesterday, but my wellness journey that is here with me today. And then even looking on a physical environmental space, being a vegan, one of the biggest things that comes from it is creating a lifestyle that's a little bit more sustainable. I don't knock anyone that is still eating meat. That is your prerogative. Do what it is that you want to do. But studies have shown that even decreasing your meat intake is going to be a lot better for the environment, which is why there was a big push for the Meatless Mondays. And at one point in time, I was delivering different types of recipes to my clients that they could try, as well as being a big proponent for the reusable water bottles instead of buying the 24-pack of water, or just try to stretch that 24-pack out by having that reusable water bottle. Thinking of a lot of different things that you can do. I know that in gorgeous Prince George's, they have been implementing more bike lanes in a lot of areas, as well as also putting up more of the capital bike shares. I know that the University of Maryland has their own bike share system also to decrease the carbon footprint that is in the county. And a lot of people will say, well, Antonique, I work all the way in DC. I need my car. I need to be on that 495. That is okay. Remember, we do have a great Washington metro area transit system that is probably one of the best in the world. I always suggest to people that's also a great way to get your steps in during the week as well. So think about becoming a commuter in that sense, and that will greatly help the environment as well as your well-being too.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And thanks for not knocking us meat eaters. I was born in the
that's
South.
not my space at all. I understand.
But I do appreciate, we have a medical paradigm. Okay. If you feel better, you're going to thrive.
Yes, indeed.
If you treat and cure illnesses, then you're going to maintain and improve your health. That's why you have your water, things that flush the impurities out of your body. If you are looking at your stress in your life, it's episodic, right? You're going to have so many episodes. It's going to feel like a Netflix version of yourself.
Indeed.
And that's why this holistic version, don't look at this one episode as the defining factor of everything about you. And that's the key to wellness for me. You are not one thing. You're the sum total of everything you've done.
Yes.
And that has got to be on the chart of the goods and the bads. The goods will naturally always outweigh. It has to, in an individual responsibility level, right? If we look at compartmentalizing our life, a lot of times that to me that's stressful. I don't like to compartmentalize my life. Like, okay, this, and then I got this, and I got this. I really like to integrate into my life, right? And I tend to, well, I know I do this in a bad way too. With my cell phone, I mix dinner time with work time and family time, and I mix play time with work time and family time. So there are, I think there are control mechanisms, like you said.
There
You have to
are.
put up your boundaries that you have, that are certain things are sacred. And I'm learning that the older I get, my family is growing up, and I'm seeing my little ones, not babies anymore. They're 13 and 10, and I have to watch it, because for long my eldest will be in college, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, wait, when did you grow up? So I am too, watching that continual concept, and it's an ever growing process. And that's the key to what we're talking about. This is a process. It's a marathon, not a
Yes, it
race.
is not a sprint. You have to trust the process. And a lot of people, especially in this society that we're currently in today, a very microwavable success society. We want things to happen quickly. We want things to happen as quickly as we can receive a text message. And that's not how it works. Wellness is something that is over time. Just like you mentioned, the resident that's in her 90s, she didn't just start working out yesterday. She was working out over time. She was looking at her nutrition over time. But we have to start with that today, where we say and we think cognitively, what do I want my 80, 90? We even look from the space of our 60 and 70-year-old self. How do we want that self to be living and moving and thriving and flowing? What type of harmony do we want to feel? And it all starts with your cognitive, your first thought when you wake up in the morning, after you say, thank you, Lord, for planting my feet on this earth once again. But how am I going to make an impact on my 60, 70, 80, and 90-year-old self today? What can I do today that will help me to get to that point of seeing my grandchildren, of seeing my children go off and get married and have awesome jobs, of traveling more, of going to different places? What am I doing today? It all starts in that space. And one thing that my significant other has said about life is that life is not a straight line that we want it to be. Life is going to give you some dupes up and some dupes down. It is going to be a roller coaster. It's going to have so many twists and turns. We cannot sit and anticipate what life is going to become. As you mentioned, we have to look at each day as an episode. All right, I'm pressing start on my episode today. What's going to happen? I'm going to take whatever comes with it, but I know the choices that I make about my wellness and my well-being will be the definition of what today's episode is going to be about. And it's a very big conscious effort that we have to make that is outside of our significant others, outside of our children, outside of our parents, outside of our friends, outside of our bosses. It is a decision that is within yourself. And it goes back to creating that, it's that mental health, that self-love, and that self-worth. What is driving you every day to get up and say, I'm going to go jog in the morning? I credit those people that get up and jog in the morning. What is that thing that drives you to say, I'm going to make sure that I have the right amount of fiber today? I'm going to make sure that I get my 3 to 6 servings of vegetables today. What is that thing? And that's where a lot of people, where they have that inconsistency in their wellness journey. They don't have a starting point. They don't have a place of true motivation, because 9 times out of 10, it's external. It's for the looks. It's for the aesthetic. It's for what other people are going to say. That goes away. Once you get that dramatic weight loss, people stop saying, oh, girl, you look great. Oh, my goodness. Da, 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 da. What internally are you doing to keep yourself on that ride, keep yourself in that space? It's one of the most important things, and the biggest question that I ask to everyone that I work with, to everyone that starts a wellness program. What is your internal driving force that's going to make you say, I'm going to do this every day?
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Well-being means developing a person that is fulfilled and is contributing to the community.
Yes.
That's well-being. Yes. Well-being is happiness. Happiness is being a contributor, regardless of how you look at it. Everybody contributes, everyone. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Life events, recent events, our Netflix series of life.
Yes.
People often say, why do you always look like you're so happy? Well, maybe because I look at it kind of like little episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always have good days,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say that my good days outweigh my bad days.
Yes. Yes.
Because I try very hard to support Team Cashenna.
Mm-hmm.
I try very hard to support Team Cashenna. You know, there are mental wellness benefits to putting priority on that mental piece of yourself as well. You have to know yourself. You know, that mirror, the Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror.
Yes, my significant other uses
that
one all the time. Yes, ma'am.
You have to know that person, and you have to know when that person's had enough.
Yes.
And you have to find those escape moments so that person can renew itself. Because there is something, happiness is to love, something to do, and something to hope for. That's a Chinese proverb. Happiness is to love, something to do, and something to hope for. And that's what you talked to us about, self-love. You talked about doing something. The Bible tells us to go do something. And, it's really important that we look at this contention with being satisfied.
Yes.
And
being everyone's
content.
Satisfaction looks different. Everyone's contentment looks different. And as a fitness professional, and for other fitness professionals that may be watching this, we have to be very mindful that our satisfaction is not the same as our client's satisfaction. Our satisfaction is not the same as the people that come to our classes. Everything that satisfies someone is completely different than what satisfies ourselves. That is a huge piece that I really try to strive to get fitness professionals to understand. Your level of satisfaction is completely different from the next person.
And satisfaction, and let me just say, there's a couple of influencers that I would like to just toss out there. And you can tell me if I'm on course or off course with these. And these are influencers that I try and toss with myself every day when I look at well-being. Because I'm serious. This year came in, and after 3 years of COVID, being isolated and taken away from loved ones going, and you're not being able to be there in their last days, and different types of things, I started to even feel like, this weight, of the world is on the whole world. And one of the things that I've looked at is enjoying my career, an enjoyable, fulfilling career. I've made a conscious decision that the careers that I undertake are going to benefit my mental state as well.
Yes.
When you have talents and you have gifts, never negate how important those talents and gifts are to the job that you're working every day. We tend to say, okay, put ourselves back to do all these things, but you're giving that for free. And at the same time, you're not adequately being replenished.
Indeed.
And I teach my children that, when I grew up, everybody wanted you to be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, because those were the money fields. Yep. What I'm teaching now is what makes you happy.
Yeah. I
have a daughter that is a fantastic artist. She's fantastic at it. She's also 4.0 student.
All right.
She's an engineer. She's a mathematician. But now she has acting in her mindset. And I'm going, all this money over here. But you know what? We took an opportunity to let her experience it. And she's really good. Yeah. She's really good at all of them. So I told her, I said, the beauty of these episodes in our life is you get to do all of that. And if you do one thing, and this is what they tell me every job I go to, what do you bring to the table? You are a sum total of everything you've done, everything you've learned. And being 20 years in the military, coming from the military, coming into contractor life, coming from contractor life into government civilian life, into mayoral life, all of what I've ever learned even from when I was student body president in
All
high
right.
school,
Okay.
I'm bringing that forward because
Mhm.
leadership is leadership. And
Yes.
all of that goes together. And
It
then it's a
does.
sum total of how I'm able to balance my joy
Mhm.
and not take it so individually personal.
Mhm.
Money, adequate money is the sum total of our well-being as well. Money,
Yes, it is.
they always say it's the root of all evil, but it does
Mhm.
help to have it.
Yes, it does. It helps to create that well-being that you want. It's a tool. And
It
that's
is a
one of the
tool.
things, yes. And it's about subconsciously, how do you view that tool? And when we kind of create in our subconscious self that money is bad, money causes all these things, then we're not going to enjoy it coming towards us. We're not going to enjoy making it. We're never going to find that place of happy. But if we look at money as a tool that can, oh, money helps me to travel. Money helps me to see my family. Money helps me to provide for my family. Money helps me to get my nails done, to get my hair done. It helps me to enjoy the little things in life that keeps me going, that makes me happy, that makes me love, that helps me to do. That's another big piece of it as well. Money, your
It
well-being
is.
with money is a big piece of it.
And that's why we created this financial wellness, financial health, because you have to have an understanding, appreciation for money. You have to respect it. Otherwise, we abuse it. And that's when our
Indeed.
well-being turns to a negative side of stress.
Mhm.
A balanced diet, we talked a lot about that, and sufficient sleep. And that's
Oh.
something that I know high-powered people tend to not sleep very often.
And one of the big
Guilty.
things that one of the big things with sleep is everyone lives, I don't know if it's still a thing, but I know that when I was getting out of college, the big saying was no days off, no sleep, we're grinding, we're doing all these things. No, you need your sleep. If you're trying to be healthy and have well-being, sleep is extremely important because that is the time where your body gets to rest. There's no stress, there's no tension. Your body gets to actually rejuvenate because your brain gets to tone it down a little bit. Okay, I'm not thinking about walking. I'm not thinking about the color of the sky. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to cook for dinner. The brain is just like, I'm just going to regulate the breathing and the heart and the hormones. And I'm going to just, everything is just going to rejuvenate itself. And you need that 6 to 8 hours in order for yourself to do that. And even if you take some naps in between the day, do not be team no naps. A lot of people were in that space for a long time, but if your body gets to the point of yawning excessively, it is screaming, I need to sleep. So really take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And then our intimate relationships are very key to us as humans,
Yes.
the need to feel love and compassion and emotion. All of these things build that strength and value, and the networking of close friends,
Yes.
can equally be as important. And, I always say, well, I spend 8 hours, 5 days a week with some of my closest allies and friends because you go to work every day. So you really have to build a tolerant environment for yourself, because who wants to spend 40 hours a week with people you hate?
Exactly. And a lot of
That's
people do
tied
it.
into an enjoyable, fulfilling career. When you find yourself in that position, maybe it's time to start looking. Polish off that resume.
And it's okay to
There's
polish off the resume.
It's okay. And that's a thing, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't want not a quitter. But these aren't quitting. These are self-check. Check in with yourself. Know when you need to take a pause. That's what I call it. I need to take a pause. And I don't feel like a quitter. That is me adapting to change.
Pivoting and adapting. And how is that environment? Yes. And how is that environment serving you? How is that leading towards you having a better well-being? Really taking the time to assess and really find the actualization in the situation. What is this leading me to my promised land, if that makes sense? You know,
Purpose.
is that leading me to my greater purpose? Indeed. And it is okay to set those boundaries and say, you know what? This really is not helping me in my spaces, my 8 spaces of well-being. Maybe I can go to another space that'll at least, maybe I can achieve 7 spaces. But if I'm only achieving under 4, it's time to look someplace else.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose is my next point. So you and I are right in sync. Sense of purpose and a sense of meaning. And above all is being interrelated.
Yes.
As we talk, your whole life, that holistic approach is interrelated. And if we can master those little influencers, then we will find ourselves in a place of well-being.
Yes.
And you can sit on the train and have this look. And people will be like, why are you so calm?
Yes.
Well, because you have met yourself and you are happy with it. And I think that this has been, you know, really tremendously impactful. I am grateful to you because we've talked, you know, on several levels about not just being well, but the well-being and the meaning of it, the purpose of it, and how we get to connect ourselves, not just with our community, with our environment, with our family, with our relationship with ourselves, that man in the mirror. Freedom to open our hearts. Open our hearts to be loved, open our hearts to be hurt. But an open heart allows those episodes to develop.
Indeed.
Okay. I always love when my pastor says there's no testimony without a test.
Indeed. Indeed. Yes.
And each one of those tests build character and strength, you know, in how you are able to overcome. And those are senses of accomplishments and achievements. So I really am grateful for our opportunity to speak this evening. And again, I apologize for such technology troubles, but it is thunderstorming here and the lights are flickering. So I want to say thank you so much for just an inspiring opportunity to, you know, get after wellness and well-being in our community.
And it's important, and I do want to leave the viewers with, you know, again, remember that your wellness journey, whenever you hear the word wellness, a lot of people look at it as it's expensive, it's for a particular type of person because of the way that wellness is viewed on social media, that you have to go to the Pilates classes, you have to do the smoothie bowls and all of these things. Wellness is all of those 8 pillars that we went over that has to do with you. Your wellness journey could mean, I like to spend time with my parents on the weekend. Your wellness journey could be, I do like to go for a walk at Greenbelt Park on Saturday mornings. Your wellness journey could be, I love to watch my kids swim at the Sports and Learning Complex. You see how I'm plugging in my gorgeous Prince George's in here a little bit, but it's your wellness journey. It's the way that you view money, the way that your spirituality is, the way that your mindset is, but it all starts with you making that conscious effort of, I want each episode of my series to be something meaningful. I want it to be colorful. I want it to be exciting. What am I doing in this episode to make me say, oh, I can't wait to get to tomorrow's episode. Oh, I can't wait to do this all over again. Oh, I can't wait for the impact that I am going to make because I have surrounded myself in all 8 pillars of my well-being. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
Ms. Vinson, thank you so much for that. I do want to just say that we want to inspire you. We want to build not just your spirit. We don't want to drain your body, but we want your body to be filled and fueled with harmony and peace. Real wealth is your mental as well as physical health. That's the real wealth of life, because a healthy, as my father would say, a healthy man can do great things.
Yeah.
The knowledge that we gain can sometimes destroy our health, for we labor for things that really are useless to us in the end game, right? We do want to calm our minds, have an inner strength, and self-confidence is very important. Be confident in who you are, and in your mind, claim those things that aren't as though they are. That's the hope of the future, the groundwork for happiness and good health. So, Ms. Vinson, I want to thank you. My motto is moving the mission forward. This mission today has been one of health and well-being in our community. And I do believe we've moved the ball just a little bit further. If nothing else, we've discovered that we are just a sum total of episodes that holistically make the greater being of who we'll be tomorrow.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much, and blessings.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.